right, let's talk about it. What are the 5 things that you need to know before running Google Ads for your business and for other people too? So, my name's Nick Kramer. I work with Driven Leads, founder and operator. Been doing Google Ads for about 15 years. I started doing Google Ads myself before I understood any of these things. I probably would have had a much more successful run at my own business when I was doing it. I used to run a web hosting company. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to go out and I'm going to just run my business, and I'm going to drive traffic to my site. I'm going to have an amazing offer, and I'm going to just line up clients, and the rest will be history, and I'll make millions, and I'll just laugh and wave from my ivory tower, which did not work. I invested a lot of money into it. I probably dropped $30,000 the first few months doing it. I did get some deals. I got some clients. I got new clients out of it. It weren't clients that I wanted. I couldn't figure out why. So that's why I like to talk about this today. And this goes for, now we work in the real estate industry, and this will go for every single business, every single niche, every vertical in the world. If you know these 5 core fundamental things about Google PPC and Microsoft PPC, or any kind of paid traffic, everybody says, open my doors, bring everybody in, I'm ready to run. Our business is going to be amazing if we could just get more traffic. So let's start out with number 1. Number 1's a doozy, and it's something that we kind of have to, we don't do a great job of telling our clients this. So this is why this video is coming out to now. And this is why we're going to try to get people that are looking to work with us to watch this video first, because this is a tough one. This is one that isn't always talked about and really isn't touched base with, because sometimes you're just given promises, and you shouldn't be by a PPC manager or a PPC business. If you're hiring somebody to do it, you should know what's coming up. And that is, number 1, there are no guarantees. The only guarantees in life are death and taxes, correct? Well, when we're talking about Google Ads, the only guarantee is that they will take your money. If you turn on traffic and you throw it at your site, if you set up the thing right, or you have Google set it up, they will take your money. That is it. That's the only guarantee. You can never guarantee that you're going to make money. You're never going to be able to guarantee that you generate leads, and you're never going to be able to guarantee that your business will be happily ever after if you're running traffic. That's hard for some people to understand, because they have a lot of friends that'll tell them, or peers that tell them, hey man, we make a lot of money on Google traffic. We've got a great ROI from it. It's one of our mainstays. And that's true, it is. If it didn't work, there wouldn't be a lot of people doing it. But the problem is everybody understands or misunderstands and misrepresents that it is a guarantee that you're going to make money. There's no guarantees of that. And we're gonna get into why there's not guarantees for that. But that's number 1 out of the gate. And I wish I could put a big stamp on my website saying there are no guarantees, but then I'd turn everybody away, because everybody would be like, why would he say that? I think he makes this person a lot of money, and I was told he makes that person a lot of money. It's true, we make people millions of dollars. We have. And we'll be interviewing some of those people in the near future here to talk about what they did and why it wasn't guaranteed, and why, what they had to do to make sure that they were making that money. But it still stands to be true that there's no guarantees in Google. Just the only guarantee you're going to get is they're going to spend your money. They'll do that for you. They do that at a really high clip, and they do it well. Number two kind of jumps into this, is generating leads and traffic for your site is the easy part. It is. And this sounds stupid, because you're thinking, Nick, you just said that there's no guarantees, and we won't guarantee leads, and we won't guarantee success. Well, I'm not talking about success, people. I'm telling you that there are, the guarantees is one thing, but just, generating leads and traffic to your site is fairly easy. It's what we do for a living. It's what everybody in my office is specialized in doing. We understand that intimately. We can generate traffic quickly. We can generate leads, if allowed, also fairly quickly. But the biggest problem is that if your business is not run like a very sound machine, or has some issues, or has some gaps, or has some some blind spots. When we start running traffic to your sites and we start running traffic to your business, there's a good chance you don't make money. If you've got some of those issues and deficiencies, that's one thing that Google Ads does really well. Google Ads can quickly expose the weakness inside your business model. So a really great example is, let's use, and I don't mean to pick on this section, sometimes I do, let's use a dental office. Let's say that we're running traffic for a dental office and we're generating a bunch of phone calls. We're generating leads and a bunch of phone calls. Well, the dentist doesn't answer the phone. The front desk answers the phone. If they're not trained properly or they don't know these calls are coming, they're not going to be very good and equipped to answer those questions properly. They're not going to give the proper answers that the dentist would want. And there's a good chance that you're going to suffer. So you might get a deal here or there. And this happens all the time. And we hear this in our industry and we hear it in others' industry, is when we circle back in a month in, we're like, how are the leads? How's everything going? Well, the leads aren't good. They're not good. Okay, well, let's expand on it. What are you having problems with the leads? Well, for one, we can't get a hold of anybody, or the people that we talk to don't seem to be know what they're talking about, or they don't necessarily want to do business with us. Well, 9 times out of 10, when we go in and look at somebody's back end systems, like their CRMs, to see what the leads look like and look at the phone calls, and if they're recorded phone calls, you can listen to phone calls. They're more than likely on the other end of that is somebody that's doing a horrible job managing your leads. And in the real estate industry right now, with markets the way they are, we're getting a lot of brokers calling us and saying, hey, we need to pause, or we need to pull back on these leads because my agents aren't answering the phone. My agents aren't using their phone. They're not following up with the leads. So we think the leads might be bad, but they might be good. And we couldn't tell you, so we need to pause. Well, yeah, that's because it's exposed a weakness in your business model. Clean your stuff up, make sure you have a tight ship, make sure you're following up at that, and make sure somebody on the other end is in charge of ensuring that the leads are being taken care of and that traffic's being taken care of properly. If we're sending somebody to a website that's broken, you're not going to get leads, you're just going to get traffic. And that's just spending money. You might as well burn cash in a barrel. So, understand that. Number 2, make sure your business is tight. Make sure your operations is set. Make sure when you turn that switch on and the traffic comes, you're ready to go. Number 3, this is one that is tough for people to comprehend and people to wrap their minds around, because there's outliers. There's always outliers, right? It depends. Getting your Google Ads campaign in a groove and rolling and really finding its true potential takes time. It doesn't take 2 weeks. It doesn't take a month. It takes 90 days typically. For us, what we see is that 90 days is what it takes for us to see the full potential and be able to have real relevant conversations with our clients and saying, this is what it takes to make this work. This is what we see potentials are. You can spend this much before you have law of diminishing returns. This is where the best traffic's coming from. This is the time of day. All of that stuff takes time. And with that time, we get data. The more data we get, the less time it takes. So it's not usually 90 days. It could be less. And there are some people that are going to see success out of the gates. But a guy that we follow and a guy that we really respect in the industry, Justin Brooke, always said 99% of all ads campaigns lose money in the first 30 days, in the first month. So you need to set that expectation. We don't set that expectation properly, I don't think. I think we should more, especially in markets like this. We've got too many people coming to the door and asking for miracles. When, can you close a deal within 30 days in real estate? So in real estate, right? Can you close a deal within 30 days? You probably can, yeah. And we have a lot of clients that have done that, but there's a lot more that haven't than there have. So you're looking at a 90-10, maybe a 95-5 on where that happens. But that's something to keep your mind on is, it's a long game. It's a long play. It's quick traffic, but then it's you, again, working your business model properly, following up with those leads, letting them mature, and then letting the campaign mature so we can do right by our clients, do right by making sure that we're getting the proper traffic, proper time, placement, everything. So number 3 is, it takes time. It's all about time. It's all about time and data. Number 4, this is an annoying one. This is what we're dealing with right now. This is what happens every 18 months. There's a massive shift. the target is always moving. We can have a campaign that is running like clockwork for 6 months to 12 months straight. And numbers are awesome, traffic's awesome. The client, every time we get a monthly call with them, they're like, "This is great. We're making so much, we're making so much money off of this. We're getting deals off of this. All of our agents are happy. We couldn't be more happy with the way the system works." And then just like that, Google decides, let's throw a wrench in that fire. Let's throw a wrench right in that thing. So what I mean by that is Google's constantly changing things, adjusting things, pulling things away, giving you new stuff. Ultimately, Google's trying to get as much money out of that person's pocket as possible. And they claim they're doing right by people and they're trying to do right by you. But all of the new stuff that we're running now, or that we're forced into running now, makes it a lot more contentious for us to run a really good campaign. And we have to conform to it. So when we make those adjustments, when Google comes out and says, this is all changing, we get stuff in beta early, but at the same time, even if we're running in beta, the system has issues because Google's still working out the kinks. That's why it's in beta. They want us to use it. So when it comes out in full, and it's a full release, it's still not great. The problem is that Google's telling everybody, this is the greatest thing ever. I can't believe we just invented this. This is going to be the best. When 9 times out of 10, if you talk to a PPC manager, like, this is awful. Like, why can't we just have it the way it was? We just figured out how to do this. So that target is always moving all over the screen. It's everywhere. And it's unfortunate because if it wasn't everywhere, there's a lot more people that could be doing, DIY stuff. It's the same reason why we don't create a campaign and hand it off to a client, because there's no set it and forget it. We used to do that. We did that for a while where we would create campaigns for clients. They'd pay us an upfront fee. We'd hand it off to them. They're going to manage it. 99% of the time they do not manage it, or they hand it to somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, or they just start taking that phone call from the Google rep saying, you should add this, change this, change that. And then all of a sudden, 90 days later, or 6 months later, they come back to us and say, the system you gave us sucks. Oh, the system we gave you sucks now. It was awesome when we built it for you, and it worked great the first 30 days if you didn't touch anything. And then it started to diminish, right? So that's where that target's moving. That's why you pay the monthly fee that you pay for PPC managers, because there's a learning curve, and that learning curve never changes. It is always constant. And it's wild because I have a PPC manager that's been with us for 2 years, and he's seen 2 to 3 different iterations from what he originally learned to the way we do it now to the way we're testing. Always testing, and that's the way the world goes. It's not perfect, but it's the world we've chosen, right? So number 5 is something that I think as much as we bang on Google, as much as we harp on the fact that there's a better way to do it and it's not perfect, I think number 5 is something that you really have to realize. Google is an absolute monster. So number 5 is Google's a monster, and it is the number 1 place to go to change the outcome of your business more than anything we've ever seen. It really is. And that goes for online advertising throughout. So, but Google is that 800-pound gorilla. It is truly something that can revolutionize how you make money, and the speed at which you make money and the volume of money that you make. But it also can destroy your business. And what I mean by that is, go back to number 1. You've got to run a tight business. It has to be, number 1 and 2, it has to be a tight business, and you have to make sure that whatever gets exposed on your business plan and how your business operates, you have to fix. But if you think about it, if we go back to the dental office or we go back to the realtor, if they're following up and they're doing perfect jobs with each one of those calls, the law of averages is they're going to double or triple their business from online lead generation, and that's Google. And it has been Google since day 1, sort of, right? So we've seen people make millions. And again, I can point out to people and say, hey, this person's done it, this person's done it. But those people have made millions because they run a tight ship, because they're wired different, because they know that they don't have all the answers, and they understand that changes are going to come, a storm's going to come, there's going to be good times and bad, and you have to work and you have to be consistent. Those people are consistent. So you have an opportunity to make a ton of money with Google. It could be with us, it could be with our competitor, it could be with anybody that understands PPC traffic that can get you to that promised land. You just have to make sure that you're being consistent and able to harness that energy that Google gives you. But those are the 5 things. Like, honestly, I think everybody should watch a video like this. There's a couple of videos out there. I didn't come up with this out of nowhere or thin air. I saw somebody else and I was enlightened by it and saying, hey, we should probably tell people this. This is something everybody should understand. And that's, I think that's great. Once you watch a video like this or you understand these core principles, then I think it'll make you a lot more profitable in the long run. I think you'll be a lot more responsive and receptive to changes that Google's making that we have no control over. And I think it will, in the end, will make a successful relationship with a PPC manager you have, or just have a successful relationship with Google and understanding that I'm giving them money and I should get $5, $10, $20 back. If you're giving them $1 and you're getting a 20x return, why not keep it going? So all those things are great things. Keep all those things in mind. It really can be a great solution for you. I hope this video helps and I hope it answers your questions. If you have more questions, schedule a time to talk with myself or somebody else in our office. And I hope you continue to enjoy these videos we're making for you.